Hey guys, Happy New Year. This is my first video of 2025. It feels weird getting back in the saddle and recording again. It's been since Christmas Day. I don't know how many days that has been, but it's been quite a while. Over 10 days, yeah, almost 2 weeks. But we are back and we are going to be looking at every single book I read last year in 2024 and what my reading stats were in 2024. We are going to be using Storygraph, which is an app and website to keep track of your reading. I'm not sponsored or anything, but I think they are the best to see all your stats out on the screen. Let's get into it. Here we are on the app. As you can see, my goal was to read 126 books, and I did meet that. I read 139 books, so I got 110% of the way to my goal. Now, a lot of this is going to be subjective to what kind of mood or pacing a book has. That's going to be different for everybody, but according to the app, and I think this is what the majority of people said that the book was, is how it gets that. I read 139 books, which was 50,518 pages. I've never done a page goal until this year, and I'm not really trying towards that, but Storygraph gave me that option 2025 if I wanted to have a page goal, so I was like, sure, why not? Let's just do 50,000 again. And it takes me an average of 9 days to finish a book. I do expect that to go up in 2025 as I am just giving myself more time with books. Here are the moods. I'm only going to read really the big ones, but if you guys do want to see the nitty-gritty, you can pause. It's there. But emotional, yes, I want books to make me feel something. Then reflective, and yeah, that's only so important to read a book and then sit there and think. I like to think, I like to learn. Dark. Sometimes dark things are emotional, and then adventurous. We love to go on a good adventure, don't we? Pacing, again, this is something that is subjective, but 57% of the books were medium paced when 22% were fast and 21% were slow. Medium is good. I think I would prefer faster paced books. I am reading several slow paced ones at the moment, and I'm just like, come on, let's get going. I think a lot of authors want their writing to be pretty, to be Instagrammable, and I think that is just kind of, I don't want to say it's messing up the industry, because no, but I just want to get to the point. Number 50% of the books I've read are 300 to 499 pages, and to me that is the average length of a book, what the majority of books are. Then 39% have been less than 300 pages, and 12% have been over 500 pages. I am starting the year with a tome, which that means a book over 500 pages, so we're starting the year with that. Fiction versus nonfiction. This is something that I really started focusing on towards the end of 2024, and now I am adding more nonfiction to my TBR. 82% of what I read was fiction, when 18% was nonfiction. And then here are the genres. Again, you can see this list is very long. If you guys would like those more nitty-gritty categories, again, you can pause. But literary has been the most I've read, and I came to terms with literary being my favorite genre in 2024. Then historical, contemporary, romance, fantasy, history, LGBTQIA+, sci-fi, mystery, thriller, and on it goes. The format, I've read 35,566 pages, and I've listened to 483.97 hours. That is a crazy amount. I don't know how many days that is. If y'all are good at math, let me know in the comments, and I will be checking to make sure y'all are correct. But that was 63% print books, 24% audiobooks, and 14% digital books. And definitely, again, something I came to terms with my reading in 2024 was that audiobooks are my favorite format, but I like to read in tandem, where I am listening to the audiobook but also holding my physical book and seeing the words. And then my most read authors are Christian Hanna, Diana Gabaldon, and Maya Toll. All I read 2 books from. Now this, I don't know where this Tagalog language came from. I only read books in English. I don't know where that came from. I don't know if I clicked something by accident. I don't know. But here's with the month I read the most books in was May, and the most pages was July, it looks like. It looks July or February. They look about the same. Let me know what you guys think here. These kind of, they overwhelm me, those kind of graphs. Then I wrote 137 reviews. My average star rating was a 3.29. And as you can see, it was a pretty average, 3 stars average. I don't want to read good books. I want to read great books, and it seems like I didn't really do that in 2024. But when you are reading so many books, you're going to come across a lot of average books, because average is average for a reason. I will be doing a video in the coming weeks of my best books of 2024, so if you do want to see those 5 stars, stay tuned, press that subscribe button, you know, gotta get the self-promo. But let's now look at all of the books that I read in 2024. Okay, here we go with a long list of them. We had Wanderers, which is a book I wish I had spent more time on, because back then, a year ago, I was so scared of not being able to hit my goal, and now I'm just like, I don't care. I want to spend time with the books. This one was extremely fascinating, dystopian, like plague, and it was so realistic of how things would go. Convergence, I didn't like, and I'm even questioning, do I want to read the rest of these Star Wars books? I don't know. But then Mary Jane, oh, so weird. And yeah, we'll leave it at that. 1632, this is like a very bro book, I feel like. Those bros who are like gamer guys, maybe, and they're the kind that judge me and think I'm stupid. But the reviews on Goodreads, it gives me that vibe. Yeah, I can remember, I'm seeing the book in my head. Red Rising, this one fell in the overhyped category for me. It felt like any other Hunger Games kind of book, but now since I'm on a big Roman kick, maybe I would like it more. I didn't unhaul it, so who knows. Migrations was my favorite book of January. I did really like that. It is a like climate change. I don't even really want to say dystopian, but a lot of the animals have gone extinct, and we are following a character going on her, like, following these birds on their last migration journey. Authority, this series is one that hasn't really been for me. I've been gifted the books, and yeah, just not for me. Milkfed, I really liked, and I really think this needs to be a movie. Sphere, this one was a surprise for me. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, but I did have a lot of fun. Torch was a 5-star prediction for me, and honestly, it's not that memorable, but the thing I remember most are the characters. Maybe I don't even really remember their names, but I have the face of the characters in my head and their stories. The Employees, this is a sci-fi, and it is very thought-provoking, will make you think a lot. The Castle Keepers, I had great expectations for this book, and it very much fell through. Archer's Voice, I'd heard a lot of great things about, but I don't like the trope where it's like, don't touch her or I'll hurt you. I think that's way overbearing and just not for me. The Spanish Love Deception, I do think fake dating worked in this. I'm usually not a fake dating person, but I do this is probably the best case I've seen it in. Iceland at Barbarians, I surprisingly really enjoyed this, and I think it has a lot deeper themes to it than people would expect going in. Neon Gods, honestly, what was that? I hated it. People We Meet on Vacation, I did not like this. This was my second Emily Henry book. I wish they would have just been friends and not lovers. Mystique Island, very luscious writing, but again, it has that like kind of purple prose that I was talking about earlier. Wilderness Tales, I picked up this book in Asheville at Malaprop's bookstore. Love that cover, and it had some of my favorite authors. Mr. Hockey, just a little short hockey novella. I bet it's about Jack Hughes. I have no proof that it is. Then The Mistake by Elle Kennedy. I do like that series, but definitely preferred the first book. Devil's Club made me unhaul this book series. I was so lost, and that's why you should read series close together, and it's something that I'm trying to do more of. Annapolis, big, historical, but it felt very episodic. The Lady of the Rivers by Philippa Gregory, it felt like a fairy tale, and I absolutely loved the vibes and atmosphere. The Dark Queens, on page I had a hard time understanding and had to switch to the audiobook, but I do think this is one that I will really enjoy on reread. Kindred, I would have enjoyed it more if I wasn't hearing it. It was very popular on Book Talk. I think I would have liked it more if I didn't have all those outside voices of hearing all these different people's opinions. I might have even given it 5-star. The Indigo Girl, how did this make it past editing? I do not know. The Queen's Fortune, it was good, and it taught me about bits of history I didn't know. The Good Terrorist, Again, I think I would like it more on reread. I feel like a lot of it went over my head. Life After Life, this is one that will make you think a lot, and I had a lot of fun with it. Made my friends get it. The She-Wolf by Maurice Druin. When you're reading a series that are like 7 books, I don't really remember what's in each book, but I do like the series. Upstream by Mary Oliver. Devotions is the one you hear about a lot by her, and that'll be in a video later this month. But this one, oh my gosh, it's spring. I read this in March. March is probably my favorite month, and it just felt so spring and naturey. Loved it. The Four Winds. The children in Christian Hannah books can be annoying. Creatures of Passage, I thought this was going to be my first 5-star of the year. The writing in this made me want to write again, and it was beautiful, fantastic lyrical writing. Of This New World, only 2 of these stories were good. I think a lot of Allegra Hyde's books are thought-provoking, and I feel better about them after I'm reading it rather than when I'm reading it. Moonlight, I don't remember much of. It's a French book that I got in a subscription. On a Night of 1,000 Stars, I unhauled it. Manhunt was not really a fan of. The Everlasting, I have been having the urge to reread this. This one was, at the time, I kind of struggled, but now, again, I'm in my Roman era. I want to read it. Dead Mountain, I love this. This is one of the best nonfiction of the year. One of my friends got it for me, and it put like new theories on the table that I'd never thought of with the Dyatlov Pass incident. Winter of the World, Ken Follett. I love his character so much. It did take me quite a while to get through it, and I was getting really frustrated with myself and the people around me. So Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, it's cute for what it is. The Lost Ticket, people need to read this and be like these characters in this book. The Party Crasher, I hated it. Nightcrawling, this was my first 5-star, but then I was like, should it have been a 5-star? It's incredible that a teenager wrote that book. Layla Motley, great. Naomi, again, really eye-opening to see a culture in a time period that we don't really think of, that being Japan. A Breath of Snow and Ashes by Downing Goblin. Yeah, y'all know I love Outlander. The Great Gatsby wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be. I do think the adaptation with Leo is better than the book. People Person by Candace Carty Williams. The author could have gone about this in way other ways than hiding a body. At First Light, a lot of academic stuff that went over my head. Our Missing Hearts, character work was wonky. Normal People, I did really enjoy Normal People, but the more I see about on TikTok, the more annoyed I get. In the Beginning Was the Sea by Tomas Gonzalez. I did like annotating that. Disoriental, this was a 5-star, and it got me on this kick of reading Iranian books, and it was so good. Eve's Hollywood by Eve Babbitt. I felt like an outsider reading this. I was like, who are all these people? I knew the celebrity names, but the other random people, I'm like, who are they? Why am I supposed to care about their lives? Astrid Sees All. This was a fever dream. I don't think the author really had any plans with this, and she was just writing, seeing where it took her. A Dangerous Woman. I hated this book. It was the worst book of the year. Symptomatic by Danzy Zena. I did unhaul this book, and I still can see the 90s New York setting. The Witch Doesn't Burn in this one I really liked. Gave those fairy tale vibes again, but you can obviously put it on modern society. Gillette by Marilyn Robinson. I did like this, and it kind of makes me emotional thinking of a dad writing all this to his son. A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. Not as good as the first book. The Stationery Shop, overhyped. The Winners by Frederick Bachman. Not my favorite in the series, but still got me in the feels. My Dark Vanessa. This is another one that I think is overhyped. Demon Copperhead, best book I read this year. Oh, that's such a spoiler for my next video. But yeah, best book I've read this year. Great character work, great at showing Appalachia and making the setting a character. The Spy and the Traitor, this is a nonfiction but had me on the edge of my seat. Flight of Icarus, this is a Stranger Things one about the character of Eddie. Was it fan service? The Best American Short Stories by M. Patchett, it was good. Echo could have been great. I loved some of the references, but it didn't hit for me. Where the Line Bleeds by Jesmyn Ward. Again, this is one where the setting really stands out. The Paris Apartment. Is it the worst thriller I've ever read? Who knows? The Lindbergh Nanny, this is a very cozy one. Then My Government Means to Kill Me. Oh my gosh, some of this was so shocking. Songs in Ursa Major, Daisy Jones Wannabe, Diana, The True Story. It really showed you who Diana was as a person and not a princess. Allison by Lizzie Stewart, such a unique way to tell the story. I love the coloring and formatting. The Forest of Vanishing Stars, again, a book with fairy tale vibes. The Yona Losi Writing Camp for Girls, kind of uncomfy. The Haunting of Lee Harker, perfect for fall. Beautiful Sad Eyes, Weary Waiting for Love. Poetry collection. Yeah. Showtime, it's a nonfiction, and these are real people that it's about, but it's really bringing them to life on the page. Project Hail Mary, again, I think this is overhyped, and yeah, sure, Rocky was cute, but in our time of history, I loved seeing an immigrant story told not in our modern times, not, you know, like in the 2020s or whatever, and I liked it. The Dead Romantics, honestly, not great. The Woman Before Wallace, cozy English book. Pillow Thoughts, definitely Instagrammy, but it wasn't bad. 6, it's a Stranger Things graphic novel. Yeah. North Woods, I love the setting and I love how it was just told in all different kinds of formats. Queen Charlotte didn't do a whole lot for me. I don't know if that's where I should have started with Bridgerton books. Somebody told me that, but I don't necessarily know if I agree with it. One Brilliant Flame, learned about a new part of history, A Botanist's Guide to Parties and Potions. I didn't like. I think the author just wanted to write a historical romance and chose a random era and didn't really use the history. The Crystallary, it's a reference book. The Music Shop, again, great setting, very gritty setting, but shows how great it can be when people come together. The Library Book, another, you know, best book of the year. Read it to see why libraries are so important to our society and why we need to protect them. The Herbery, another reference book. Mame, yeah, 3-star vibe. If I Survive, you really liked this, and it really did a great job at showing Miami. Open Throat, underrated book. Read it, fantastic writing style. Uncle Paul, it's exactly what you expect of a 1950s mystery thriller. Horse, Gerdeline Brooks, if that's how you say her name, was trying to do too much. The Floating Girls, great setting, brought me back to my favorite place. Erin's Diary, I love Dairy Girls. The Alienist, I did this as a buddy read, and it was a lot of fun to do as a buddy read. A Clash of Kings by George R. R. Martin, Volume 2. If you want a perfect adaptation of the A Song of Ice and Fire books, check out the graphic novels. Matrix by Lauren Groff. My least favorite by her. She's one of my favorite authors. An Echo in the Bone. Loved it, but dragged in some parts, and I'm glad the show cut those parts. This, Volume 0 from Book of the Month, I liked. A Spell for Disappearing and The Reclamation. No Place for the Wary Kind. Great for character. Like, if you are wanting to build characters, I would recommend that. And then Witches Run Amok, Hocus Pocus, The Oral History. I loved it. Seeing everything that goes into making a movie and making a classic movie. The Haunting of Henry Twist. Yeah, it's good for like September. Blacktop Wasteland. I did not expect to like it as much as I did, and it feels like a video game. Come Fly the World. I wish this book just narrowed in more. I think it was too big. Tip and Run, I learned a lot. I had not learned about that kind of stuff in school. Hocus Pocus and the all-new sequel. The first one, Hocus Pocus, was fantastic, cozy, nostalgic, campy vibes. And again, the all-new sequel, it tried to make something so much bigger than it needed to be. Founding Mothers, a good starting point to then go venture off in other parts of history. House of Leaves, no, didn't like it. Ducks, great way to tell a memoir is being a graphic memoir, but I did feel choppy and I would have to go back and see if that's really where a section ended, because I'd be like, did I skip a page? Whoa, a House Cat Story of Despair, perfect for cat lovers. They Drown Our Daughters, one of my favorite tropes, the like cursed family. A Mystery of Mysteries, The Death and Life of Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah, it gave me a lot of info on Poe and a lot of discussion points to bring up to my family and friends. Nobody Gets Out Alive. I love interconnected short stories. Manhunters, how we took down Pablo Escobar, it really felt like these two guys were sitting down and telling you their story. The Bell Jar, again, overrated, but it was that cornerstone for the sad girl lit genre or subgenre. Cocaine Blues, this is a historical mystery. I said historical romance on the earlier one, but it was historical mystery, but historical mystery that actually uses the setting. Sometimes I Never Suffered. This is a poetry collection, and again, will make you think. Night of the Living Revs, again, interconnected short story collection. Magic Hour, I don't know if this or The Four Winds would be my least favorite Christian Hannah, but it was still great. The First World War, I read this at the wrong time because I had just read Doppelganger by Naomi Klein. Again, it was taking in so much info at once that it was really overwhelming for me. Small things like these, great character work, daughter mine. If you want to go to San Francisco, read this book. The Complete Persepolis, love, 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 should be required reading. Eileen, great character work again. If you like weird girl, sad girl, mentally ill girl books, this is for you. Minka Kelly, Tell Me Everything. Great book about breaking the will that is generational trauma. The City of Dusk, underdeveloped characters. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, the love interest was a jerk. And lastly, Red Sister, I love the setting. It was very eternal, but I don't see myself continuing the series. And those are all of the books that I read in 2024. What was your favorite book in 2024? What was your least favorite book as well? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it all the way through, leave a firework or snow. I know, big difference emoji in the comments below. And as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. And don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. I'll see you in my next one. Bye! If you are familiar with my videos, you're used to seeing Sherman at the end of them. Sadly, Sherman has since passed away, but I would still like to encourage you guys to help your local shelters. Sherman was at the Darlington County Humane Society in rural South Carolina. I always have their link down below in the description if you guys would like to help them, but also help your local shelters as well. You can do that by donating, sharing posts like this one, volunteering, fostering, and adopting, which it's great to do all of those things. Great to help your community, great to help the animals in your community, and I cannot recommend it enough. All of my pets were rescues, they were strays or from animal shelters, and I love them so much, and I know how much love they can give, so knowing these pets at the shelter can equally give that much love, it's amazing. And y'all should totally take part and help out those local animal shelter pets, and please help them.